It's time again for your home for everything CORT. This is the fastest show in sim racing, the CORT Report. This is your one-stop shop for news for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. And the CORT National Cup Series. And now, the guys who will bring it all to you. David Amboy. Chris Sweat. John Dragonetti.
Bye, have a great time.
And Julian Medor. This week's edition of the CORT Report. I am your host, David Amboys, and I'm alongside Chris Sweat.
I'm dying. This is the first time I've heard the intro live as we're going, and Julian's recording is ridiculous. This is so loud.
It's perfect. Perfect, you know. Got it. Everyone's little bit in the intro has a little personalization to it. I got the my brand. You got the closest thing that I get to the yeah baby come on by Chris Jericho. John's is the bye have a great time. Unfortunately no John Dragonetti this week, more on that later. And Julian Medor, who's with us, nice segue there. Julian is the Frankie McDonald Yale Destroy.
Oh,
I
didn't know we got to have noises.
Oh, and Kevin Bartel's here.
You get noises if you do more than, 5, You have to be a regular on the CORT Report to get a noise. See, that's why I can leave and come back and I still have a noise.
I've been here like 3 times.
You're not good enough.
I can fix that though.
I thought your noise was just going to be gas-powered stick. It never runs out of gas.
Well, there's that too.
Gas-powered stick!
Gas-powered stick!
Speaking of gas-powered, the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series was at New Hampshire this week.
Hey, you know what wasn't gas-powered?
What wasn't gas-powered, real quick?
Corey's car in the last 5 laps of last night's race.
Oh.
Hey, you know what? I definitely, before we get going on the New Hampshire race, I gotta say, I had a fantastic race.
Yeah, we'll touch base on that here in just a moment as Tyler Tucker went off. He won last season's race here. He did it again. He won the New Hampshire 125, holding off Tim Silliman for the win. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be kind of hard for anybody to talk about this because I don't think Kevin was there. He was in Michigan.
Yes,
right.
He was coming back from
and
Michigan.
Chris, like lap 1?
Lap
Something
1,
like that.
turn 3, baby. We died.
And I was out within 20 laps. So
I did watch it though. You know, it was a pretty good race. I mean, it's typical what you expect from New Hampshire. It was interesting to watch people pass. There was a lot of diving in corners, but kind of not full dive bombing. It was weird the way the line you ran to be or go fast around this track.
I liked it because I had a pretty good run going. Unfortunately, I wrecked out about 100 laps in to the 125 lap event, and unfortunately we ended up like 17th on the night. But it was a fun race, long green flag run. That was a lot of fun. But head to Iowa next week, which is a little bit on it. Never been there in an Indy car. I think it'll be fine. And longest race ever as far as laps go in CORT next week, 175. They're running the same distance that the Cup Series runs. So,
why are we doing that?
Well, because they go even quicker.
Ugh.
So, yes. Anyways, why don't we go ahead and run down the running order for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series from New Hampshire. It's brought to you by our good friends over at CORTRacing.com, your home for everything CORT. Tyler Tucker took home the win, and he had to hold off Tim Silliman driving late in the going as Tim, after 2 restarts within 10 laps to go, was just still unable to get by Tyler.
He pretty much tried everything he had to get him there, definitely on that last run. It's one of those tracks that's tough to really catch somebody and tough to do something when you get there. I mean, you can definitely tell Tim was giving that car everything he had, but Tyler was just too fast.
Gotta be honest, we don't really usually talk about Mike Husby, and he's had quietly one of the best overall seasons in all divisions of the championship online racing teams. He came home 3rd at New Hampshire, stays 2nd in the points in the Training Paint Series.
But does anybody really even like Mike Husby?
Well, you gotta respect Mike Husby. A very good season so far. 2nd in the points in both series, and is definitely threatening for both championships. Will Roberts, 4th, the number 68. Good run for the Homestead winner.
I think it's going to be you and me, Dave.
I think it's going to be you and me, too.
It's going to have to be you guys.
I was out early, and I still know more about the racing people. Will's just, when he's here, he just silently works his way up in the top 10, the top 5. He's got the Oval program over there at 703 is pretty darn good if he can. I mean, they keep right up there.
Doing a good job. He's doing a good job. Matt Harrington. The connection issues did not plague him this week. He came home 5th. A good run for that team.
Solid run. Solid. Top 5.
He needed one of those. He seemed to have been falling out of just about every race under the sun, and luckily he finally got one to the end.
I know that field, bro.
Andrew Hayes, despite running out of gas halfway through the event, he came home 6th.
Gas-powered Hayes.
Ran out of gas.
And his Fury Inc. teammate Corey Stevens, coming off of the US 250 win, came home 7th. Yeah, I think Corey's starting to turn to the Indy cars. He has definitely shown this season that, or in the past few weeks, that he seems to like these Indy cars, so always exciting to see new, fresh drivers in the Indy cars. Unfortunately, will not be at Iowa, we're hearing, but hopefully he comes back for after the break and maybe tries out the road course in Silverstone as we near the end of this 4 straight oval stretch.
He told me he wasn't going to be at New Hampshire. Showed up for New Hampshire. Told me he wasn't going to be there at Michigan. Showed up for Michigan. So
Want Michigan. So
he's having better luck in the Indy cars than he is in the Cup cars.
And more on that later, as the biggest field in court history happened last night. 32 cars for Talladega, but like I said, more on that later.
You're surprised.
Joseph Cervone, Coffee, came home 8th.
Cervone, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can really describe Cervone's season. He's there. He is not up there contending for the win, but at the end of the day, he's right up there in the top 10. It just, you don't see him, you don't notice him, and all of a sudden, boom, he's got a great run going.
A quiet, silent, but deadly run for 703. Alex Boffley had one of the most puzzling moments of Monday's race under the caution flag with about 7 to go. Boffley nailed the wall as he was trying to burn off fuel. First gear, got a hold of the car and launched him into the outside wall, and he slowed up a lot of people and came home 9th.
I think you gotta look at the first gear if you're Boffoli. You know, it has bitten you twice this season. It's probably not a good idea to put your car in first.
Especially these Indy cars, which are lighter and have a ton of horsepower. Not the smartest thing in the world to do, quite frankly. Kyle Young rounds out the top 10. A good run for Kyle, and kind of needed that. Seemed like he was having a rough stretch of it there about halfway through the season.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid run for him.
Moving on to the second page of results. Patrick O'Toole coming home with a points-paying finish in his home race.
No comment.
No comment by Chris, but Patrick was elated.
No, realistically, he recovered from that pretty nicely and managed to keep his car. I mean, I did everything I could to not hit him that hard. Apparently, I did a good job of that. If he was able to bring it home 11th, but he hasn't had a lot of whole good runs this year, and it's good to see him up there, even though the whole deal happened.
Rounding out the top 12 in the points, newcomer to the league, Patrick Healy. He actually qualified on pole for the event, and hey, pretty damn good debut.
Not really know much about this guy. He just kind of came in and was running up front, and I don't know what happened to him in the race, if he got an incident or anything like that, but he definitely, like I said, started on a pole, had a great car. I think he was up there for a while, but I think another solid person that's going to be looking to contend for wins.
Brian Sullivan. Tough break for him again. He's had some really quick runs this season, but outside of the points again for Brian Sullivan. He came home 13th, matching his car number.
It's unlucky.
Unlucky. We have another occurrence of that later on this page. John Dragonetti running the number 80. That was the last time he ran the number 80, as he moved back to the 14 for Wednesday's event. Came home 14th. Wondering where you are, John. Wondering where you are.
We miss you, John.
Where is John?
Baby, come back.
Dragonetti, come back.
We're gonna start putting John Dragonetti's logo or name on and pictured on milk bottles or milk cartons. It's milk cartons, not bottles. They used to serve it in bottles. Anyways, Cody McCorkle came home 15th.
Not too bad a run for Cody. He just kind of hung around and had a late race incident there. Dave, I am reading in Twitch chat that you're actually seeing also on the leaderboard that you have the 75 twice.
I'm glad someone finally picked up on it.
Carson Abe, good spot.
I put it up there, going, oh, well, that happened. That's what happens when you edit these graphics at about 6:15 in the morning. So, yeah. Sean Breitzman came home 16th in the 16.
Yeah.
He got into an issue and unfortunately got into an incident. And in fact, ironically, 17th, me, finished 17th. Well, that's not ironic, but the ironic part is I wrecked it trying to give Sean Breitzman room. So,
you're a nice guy. You're a nice. Whoa, voice crack. I'm hitting puberty finally. You're a nice guy. You're too nice, Dave.
Yeah, well, I was making moves on that long run. I went from 14th to 8th, and I was really liking my car and really wanted it to stay green. But Morgan Murphy, more on him later, kind of threw a corkscrew into it. And
we're not calling drivers out, are we?
No, I'm not, but I'm just saying, when you're 55 laps down, maybe, and out of the points in a series that only the top 12 pay points is maybe not the smartest idea. James Gutta, Jim Gutta, Jerome Gutta, Jeremy Gutta, he came home 18th.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Jim is kind of taking a little bit of a liking to the open wheel cars. I know he runs the ART series. Has been doing quite well in the ART series for the 2 races that have been run. He was just riding. He didn't really get a whole lot of practice. Just really wanted to feel out the car, and it just kind of all went away and ended badly. And we got a couple of torn up cars at the shop now.
Quickly, just want to touch on something. WTF 111222 in the chat writes, WTF.
Hi, Pete.
All right. Well, that's exciting. We'll find out more on that. Scott Mullen. He came home 19th. He's also a new guy and had a pretty good run for being involved in an incident early in the going. And Carson Abe. Carson didn't really have the greatest of run, but hopefully everything turns back in his favor next week at Iowa. As we move on to the third page of results, Morgan Murphy, as we said, kind of don't want to call it a tough break, but a kind of a questionable issue that occurred late in the going, bringing out a caution, ending a 40 or a 80-plus lap green run, and that kind of put a damper on the event, but nonetheless, a 21st place finish for Morgan. Julian, 22nd, what happened?
Too much gas coming off of 2, just kind of ran out of room, slammed into the wall in the backstretch, and fortunately didn't bring out a caution, but ended the night.
And Chris Sweat, 23rd in the event, a tough break and something completely out of your doing.
We had a great car. We were gonna kind of just start in the back and take our time, see what people were gonna do. Let Patrick by thinking it was gonna be all good. Didn't realize he was gonna end up losing it going into 4 and nowhere to go. And then I had a nice acrobatic move over the pit wall. I definitely blame being in an 89. I don't like that number. I don't know why we decided to do that for this week, but do things sometimes, and we'll be back in the 7 next week, and hopefully won't die.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue to someone already came in with the 7, and
I thought you told me our shop didn't print enough 7s.
No, someone came in with the 7, and I know you're trying to keep it behind the 4th wall, but I'm going to break it down. Someone came in with the 7, and you had to come in the 89, so hopefully iRacing,
just being nice.
I know iRacing has talked about maybe instituting a policy for the next build where leagues will have specific numbers. I can tell you right now, CORT will definitely be one of those leagues that will institute specific numbers, because quite frankly this stuff happens way too often. Moving on to the points, Tyler Tucker, he actually gained a bit, as obviously it was 2 points coming in, but now it almost truly is a 2-horse fight in between 2 Cast Core veterans for the CORT Champagne Championship Series points. Tyler Tucker leads by only 9 over Mike Husby, 32 over Tim Silliman. Scott Olson, 42 back. Will Roberts, 57 back. Hayes, 64 back. Julian Medor, 82 back. Alex Boffley, 88 back. Kyle Young, 95. And I am 97 back. CORT Training Paints Championship Series heads to the Iowa Speedway this upcoming week for the Iowa Corn 250, a brand new event on the schedule this year, and man, it's also going to be the first night race in CORT history.
Woohoo! Nighttime! Night racing is fun. We don't have headlights, but there's lights on the track.
Yep,
so we're all good.
It's also a short track. It will a lot of firsts for this event. The first short track ever in CORT history, first track under a mile, and the first night race for the CORT Training Paints Championship Series. So Monday night, Team Explosion TV. You guys know the URL. It's right there on CORTRacing.com. The link's right there. Go ahead and watch as Monday starts Cars CORT. Try and navigate around the tight Iowa oval. So looking forward to that. That could definitely be the wild card, as that is the last oval before the Pocono 250, the final stretch of the Triple Crown. And then, of course, as you all know, next week, next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, the 23rd, but the first is an off week for the Train Paint Series. They will be off, but tentatively, don't quote me on this, but the CORT Report might be live with a schedule release special. The schedules will be released July 1st for the Trade and Paints, the CORT National Cup Series, and the CORT American Racing Tour. So looking forward to that in about a week and a half's time.
So we got nothing going on Canada Day, right?
No, we don't have anything going on Canada Day officially, but don't quote me on that. But if everyone's up for it, we might be releasing the schedule live on the CORT Vision. So looking forward to that if that is the case. Quickly, also just want to quickly touch on the CORT American Racing Tour. Jim Gutta got the win at Sebring. A good run for Jim, and as always, good for him as he took home the first 2 races of the CORT American Racing Tour.
I'm proud of my team. It was kind of a last-minute decision to throw a couple cars in the ART series, and I'm kind of glad I did. Obviously, my own car didn't do very well. I decided to not turn in one of the corners, so I don't know why I didn't do that, but it happens. And just kind of hopped in a box and crew chief for Jim and made it on field somehow. So really happy with the way it turned out.
Yep. Brian Sullivan had a good run there. He also finished second. And Alan Piercy, the first driver in CORT history from Europe to finish in the top 3 of a CORT-sanctioned event. So good on Alan, and look forward to seeing them. That will be on Sunday at Kansas. We will be there, and we look forward to that, as CORT Vision will have the call for that one. We will be back for the Kansas 100 this upcoming Sunday from the Kansas Speedway on CORT Vision.
That I'm looking forward to. We've run a lot of the national car at Kansas, and it is incredibly fun. I'm very curious to see what these ART cars are going to be able to do there. I think it's going to be pretty wild. There's a lot of grip, a lot of room. It's going to be interesting.
Yep. So should be very exciting. That series, of course, just kicking off. James Gutta still has the points lead, obviously. He's won both events, so he's going to be looking to try and keep it up next week, or this upcoming Sunday at Iowa. Okay, so here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we got a lot of people to cover for that Talladega race. Biggest field in CORT history. 32 cars started the Sears Craftsman 250. I nearly forgot the name of the race. At Talladega, and we will be reviewing that race in depth. So be sure to stick around. We'll be right back. This is the CORT Report, CORTRacing.com.
Swish.
Wow, are you an athlete or something?
I've got a semi-occasional fitness routine.
Oh. Is that Mio?
It's Mio Sport.
Mio Sport?
I add it to water to hydrate this temple.
Does it work?
You tell me.
Mio Sport. Swish. Squirt some.
All right, welcome back. CORT Report, CORTRacing.com, and man, for those of you at home watching this after, like on YouTube, you guys missed one hell of a commercial break. It may look like it was only like 2 minutes, but it lasted like 25 for reasons I don't really care to want to get onto. So, yeah. It was a long one. Chris Sweat, Julian Medor, Ken Bartelt with us. And we're getting ready to review the CORT National Cup Series Sears Craftsman 250 from Talladega. And we're all messed up, folks. Chris, you go.
Earnhardt. Oh, Talladega. It's a crapshoot. And, it's great when you're running up front, but when you're stuck in the back and you can't get anything going, it's just a pile of crap.
I'll tell you what Talladega is. For some odd reason, at CORT, Talladega is the most boring race of the season, and I don't understand why.
Two-cart fandango.
That is very true. Two-cart fandango. Da-da.
It never made any sense to me because you expect if we're going faster, everyone's competitive because, hey, Talladega. So you're expecting people are going to be close and wrecking, and then all of a sudden we have only 2 cautions over the entire span of 94 laps.
Could have been worse. Could have been last season where we didn't have any cautions.
We went caution-free in a race with only like 18 people in it. For Talladega, that's a small field, so yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But why don't we go ahead and run down the running order for the CORT National Cup Series. We got a lot of ground to cover on this one, so biggest field in CORT history. I did mention it in the previous segment. Not 18. That was not the biggest field. The biggest field was 32 last night. Very exciting. Nearly had to send people home, so pretty exciting. So why don't we go ahead and run down the running order? It's brought to you by CORTRacing.com. By the way, we mention CORTRacing.com every time on these, but there are naming rights. Just hit me up on Facebook. And if you want to buy the naming rights for the rundowns, let me know. We'll do it. So, CORT results page now.
Now?
Now. There they are, as John Dragonetti took home the win, and Riley Roush attempted to steal it from the CORT National Cup Series regulars. He said earlier this week that the one thing that he wanted to do was just steal that last spot. Riley just came up just short.
Yeah, John managed to snub him on it. That he knew that was the plan going in, but John managed to sneak around him in that last straightaway and keep Riley out.
Yeah, as that was a finish, I believe, 8/1000ths of a second. A very close finish. Could be closest finish in CORT history. We got a lot of really close finishes lately in the championship online racing teams, and that's always exciting. Close finishes, good racing, and long green flag runs always brew a really, really fun experience. And of course, that's what CORT tends to want to do. Riley Roush came home second. Tough break for him. He was irate after last night's event. You okay there,
I'm okay. You gotta see something, and it needs to go on the stream. I hate to kind of
right now.
Kind of gotta throw it out there.
Right now.
Right now.
But we're doing the CORT Report.
But we're in the middle of something amazing. But yeah, Riley, irate, awesome. Great finish to a boring race.
What is this?
I'll say. It's just. I understand the irate part, but it happens. It's Talladega. You're the lead car. You should expect it. And
he wanted to get into the race next week.
No offense to Riley. He's a great driver, and I know he's very good at very good super speedways. Oh my God!
What the heck is this?
I'm happy to see a regular win.
It's a memorial car, Dave, for when the microwave kills you.
Now you can see why I had to.
Oh dear Lord! Oh my! We're so not gonna get through this thing unless.
Yes, we are. Let's keep going.
Oh boy!
Apparently, you're RoboCop.
Am I RoboCop?
That looks like RoboCop.
I go with RoboCop.
This does not look like RoboCop. I don't have red hair.
Oh no, the dead dude or the guy on the side.
The dude on the side.
He does kind of look like RoboCop.
Because the guy driving is your man. That's not important.
I hate to cut us off, but this is the fun part about live.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you need to watch the CORT Report live, because you get to witness things like this.
Anything
can
happen.
Like the Dead Mobile. Now I got to save that and put it in the YouTube. So
back again.
All right. Anyways, we were talking about Riley Roush and his finish. He was pretty pissed at the end of that one.
He wanted to get into the next week's race without having to run the Open. And I can't blame him for being angry.
Yeah, and he has even said that he will not even be attempting to run the Open next week. One of the few teams that are just saying, you know what, we'll take the week off and get ready for the 500K. Julian, backing up that points lead again. It's getting closer to the end of the season, and you got through the wild card event, Talladega, with the points lead.
It's about as good as I could get, really. Usually I'm pretty good at super speedways, and for some reason just couldn't get into a rhythm. I haven't really touched the track since Daytona, or touched a super speedway track since Daytona. So, there were some inconsistencies last night that kind of caused me and Corey to lose the pack a couple times, and unfortunately we didn't get a caution the last time we lost the pack. So, but yeah, if that hadn't happened, I think we would have had a better finish. But third's not bad, and finished ahead of the main point competitors. So, good night. Good kind of pillow to have going into a non-points race.
Yeah, nice little break. All you got to focus on is winning next week at Charlotte. The guy you were facing in the points, though, and quite frankly, number 3 man in points, Sean Brightsman, who was on fire until he had to take the provisional at Rockingham, finished 4th, and he's clawed his way back into that points battle.
Yeah, I needed Corey up there with me. He was kind of going to be another cushion for me against Brightsman in the points battle, but unfortunately, Corey blew up, and it kind of tightened us up there in the running order.
That's right. And how about Nate Bowers? A top 5 finish for the newcomer to CORT.
Yeah, a solid run for him. He's had some bad luck in the last couple weeks, but he pulled it out here and showed what he can actually do. So maybe he can use this run to give himself the opportunity to move forward and do better.
Dig is definitely a good place for new guys to kind of come onto the scene and, not only make a name for themselves, but also get some momentum built up for future races to kind of gain respect from people that have been around for a while.
Yeah, and Nate, of course, one of those many names that will be in the All-Star Challenge next week, the Showdown event. So exciting to see. One name that won't be, because he won at Indianapolis last season, Mike Husby. He didn't really gain too much ground. In fact, he lost ground this week. Finished 6th.
He had a solid day. I mean, there was never a time where you would say, well, Mike's definitely out of it now. But just never had what it took to get up there at the end. And, I mean, he had a consistent day, though. I mean, he didn't wind up back in the 20s or 30s, so.
I think Mike either had a pit road speeding penalty or he missed his pit box or something. I'm not sure. It was just during one of the pit stops, and it kind of mired him back in traffic.
Joseph Coffey Cervone, 7th place. And he was as far down as 20th at one point, so a good recovery for Joseph.
Quiet contender all season.
Yep, quietly. And you know what? It's the whole 703 group has definitely upped their game this season, so it's exciting to see them come in and, get better, and who knows what they'll do next season after this whole season. I mean, it's been pretty good for that whole group, so look forward to seeing them next season in the fall and seeing what they can bring to the table. Andrew Hayes, making a rare stock car appearance. He finished 8th.
Kind of a quiet night for Andrew. Didn't really help that we all managed to get spread out every time he had a restart or something. I think if he'd seen pack racing or something closer to what we had at Daytona, Hayes definitely would have been up in it. Also, I'd like to note that Joseph started a team this past week.
Yes, he did. Going back on Joseph Cervone real quick. Yes, he started Cervone Motorsports for the ART. So good on Joseph. And definitely like to see more teams in the lower seeds, lower levels of courts. So exciting to see. Matt Trace running the number 13, a tribute to Jason Leffler, as Trace finished 9th.
Just a quiet night from Trace. I didn't really hear much from him. It's kind of out of character, isn't it? But he's racing with an injury, so it was kind of neat to see him come out and pay his little tribute and still get a top 10 out of it.
Yeah, if those of you who don't know, Matt Trace broke his wrist about 3 weeks ago in an unrelated incident that unfortunately put him on the sidelines for the first 2 ART events. In fact, Fury Inc. still looking for a driver for the 88 in the ART for Kansas. If you're interested, let Andrew Hayes know. Sean Brandt, Mr. RPM, came home 10th, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, I'm real proud of him. He managed to sneak that car of mine in the top 10 there, and had a good run all night, just consistent, quiet, which is unfortunately how everyone was last night. I think everyone was just afraid of the big one, but I think he was working with, I think you call him Jerome. He was working with Jerome most of the night, and they had a good night together. Didn't tear nothing up or anything crazy like that, so proud of him.
Yeah, that's good to see, and got to finish this thing. And in fact, we had a lot of guys finish, so good runs all around. Moving on to the second page, Morgan Murphy making a rare appearance in court. He came home 11th. And that's all we got to say about Morgan Murphy. James Gutta came home 12th in the number 17.
We had an interesting strategy. We, the whole CSR and a couple of Kevin's team members who decided to stay with us and work with us. Strategy there about hanging in the back, and it's just it was a little too crazy in the back for what it should have been. We ended up losing a driver because of something stupid. But it just, Jim kind of decided to, him and the 68 decided to take their own strategy in there, and once we all got split up, and it worked out great. He got himself up close to the top 10 at least, but it was a frustrating day all around for the whole team.
Wasn't a night where the typical stay in the back and avoid the big one really helped out? It actually kind of would
Definitely not.
Kind of hurt anybody that did that more than anything.
Tough break for that, and as always, these Talladega races so hard to predict, yet we all know one thing: they've been boring in court lately. Kevin Bartelt, 13th on the night.
Yeah, I went with that strategy of lay in the back and don't die. Actually, Greg Netherwood and I, in the 57, he and I started on pit road. We waited for the first lap to actually get started before we even fired up the cars. We were going to sit in the back, hang out, wait for something to happen, and nothing ever really happened. So that's the way it goes. And then I think Greg got taken out. Something happened during one of the long green runs there, where we had to check up, and the guy behind us didn't, and Greg was all of a sudden sideways, and I was without a partner.
Tough break, and I know you and I worked together until about 4 laps to go, and we got an untimely speeding penalty, but more on that later. Alex Boffley, 14th, the number 24 entry, came home 14th, as Boffley not going to be running the All-Star Challenge, says that the stock car is not his car.
Not really sure what happened to Boffley, because for the longest time he was in the top 4 until Dakota blew up, but don't really understand how he fell all the way back to 14th, unless there was like a pit road issue, or maybe he just couldn't get a partner after that, but it's kind of weird, and I don't really know the story on that.
From here on out, up until about 25th or so, we're just about going to have guys who didn't really, they finished laps down here. So Brett Black, first plate track back, and he said it was his first time with the tandems, and he did not have a fun time. He finished 15th.
No, he had a pretty solid night for not knowing how to tandem or knowing what the tandem was all about, but, not knowing that you're behind the 8 ball, and he pretty much just out-survived everybody at this point, because I think everybody from this point on had made a mistake somewhere along the line.
Yeah, Cody McCorkle, who actually almost spun it, didn't bring out a caution, but got a little bit hairy in turn 3 at one point, came home 16th.
Maintains 4th in the points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Good recovery for Cody. Spin, still stays 4th in the points. Could have been a lot worse. Came home 17th. Yeah, it was a night. Worked with Patrick O'Toole a lot, the guy who finished behind me in 18th. And in fact, we had a pretty interesting battle of the line. But Yeah, me and Patrick actually worked pretty well together, so definitely going to be looking for the 44 to work with at Super Speedways if I'm all out of options, which I was about halfway through the night last night, so... Yeah, I mean, Patrick's actually pretty good, so look forward to Daytona in September with Patrick. Chris Sweat, 19th, tough break. What happened?
Junk. You know, it's probably been the most incredibly frustrating season I've had ever since I've started league racing. I can't explain it. It was just another crap night to add to the crap season that's already been going on, and it's time to really start rethinking this whole Cup Series deal.
All right, well, we'll definitely be following that story in the next few weeks. Greg Netherwood, 20th, actually got some damage late in the going and dropped like a rock.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he and I were working together, and then we had to check up for something that was going on ahead of us, and all of a sudden he was sideways and gone behind me. I'm actually surprised it didn't bring out a yellow.
It's a tough break for Greg, and was really hoping to get that last challenge spot, but was unable to get in there. Moving on, third page of results of 4. Johnny Williams. He came home 21st, and I'm noticing that those numbers are not updated at all.
No, those numbers are not accurate.
Those numbers
from the
are
last page.
wrong.
They're all from the last page. They're directly copied over.
This is what happens when you have to do quick edits day of the show. So, Johnny Williams in the 7 came home 21st.
Yep, sure did.
Corey Stevens in the 56 came home 22nd.
He was running, we were running 3rd and 4th with, I think, 5 laps to go, around there. And we went to switch. Corey was behind me pushing me. We went to switch. He got out into the clean air, and the car, for some reason, did not like the clean air and blew up. Kind of sucks, because Corey was going to get a good finish last night.
Will Roberts in the 3, 23rd.
Had a solid and quiet night. That's really about all I know. I mean, I know I was around him towards the end, but didn't really see him otherwise.
Carson Abe in his first race in the 48 came home 24th. We aren't going to say anything about Carson.
I think Carson's been just quietly improving since taking his little break from the Cup Series and kind of focusing a little bit on the open wheel stuff and the art. It's just been a nice, quiet improvement. Probably one of the most improved drivers throughout the season. Yeah,
as Carson has definitely shown some improvement. Hopefully get to see him. I believe he is entered for the challenge next Wednesday, so good on that. Kyle Young in the 93 came home 25th.
It's been
was working with Will Roberts near the end.
I think it's been the season Kyle won it.
Stefan Goss in the 8, first plate race at CORT, and he tried to hold his own, but ultimately the rookie saw that experience pays off. He came home 26th on the night.
Jim! Sorry, Jim's in the chat. Yeah. Stefan, I believe he's new to the league. I think that's Hayes' cousin, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Be interesting to see where he or how he fares. I think a few weeks ago we basically witnessed the birth of a sim racer, so it'd be kind of neat to see where he's at in a season or two.
Jim Gutta in the chat. I'm good. I'm okay. Tim Silliman had connection issues, and at Talladega, that's the last thing you want. 27th on the night in the 43.
That's not necessarily true. Sometimes the connection issues can actually help you at Talladega.
And sometimes it means you phase and get spun by the guy that's pushing you, and I think that's what happened last night.
Dakota Ehrman in the 15th, or in the 15, blew his engine. Tough break for Ehrman. He came home 28th.
So the one track, or one of the two tracks that we go to that we really ever see blown engines at, I think we had 2 or 3 last night. It's just kind of unfortunate. You got to watch your gauges, and sometimes you can get kind of distracted. He was running up in the top 4. He was part of that 4-man group that kind of took away from the rest of us. So he had a pretty good night going until he blew up.
Sean Burke in the 70, 29th on the night. Tough break for him. Rounding out the top 30, Zach Hill in the 72. I believe that was his first plate race at Court 2, so definitely some rough nights for the first plate races in Court for a select few drivers here.
You know, when you're in the race itself and you got this many people, this being our biggest field, it's kind of hard to keep up and be able to talk about every single person. But
yeah, I can agree.
But you know what? At the same time, it's a good thing. We got the numbers.
Yes, and you know what? It's a nice problem to have. But we're concerned about not making the show. That's the greatest problem in the world right there. First world problem right there. And but you were just saying it's tough to follow all the stories in the field. Well, quite frankly, this page is pretty self-explanatory. Scott Olson, Steve Lavender, 31st and 32nd. Fortunately, rounding out the field for the Sears Craftsman 250.
Yeah, I know Steve is none too happy. It was an avoidable incident, and should have been handled a lot differently by somebody. But it's a tough race for 23rd.
Yeah, and obviously Scott Olson, Steve Lavender, they don't really have a past. Hopefully it doesn't flare up here in the next few weeks. Steve, of course, can look forward to the CORT National Cup Series All-Star Challenge, where he is locked in via his win at Las Vegas last season. Moving on to the points. Julian, you hung on to the points lead. You're 34 ahead of Mike Husby and 35 ahead of Sean Brightsman. Cody McCorkle holds down 4th place, but look at that cavalcade of cars, 5th on back. David Amboys, Kevin Bartelt, Corey Stevens, Greg Netherwood, James Gutta, and John Dragonetti, only separated by 13 points. So exciting
14.
stuff. 14 points here at the Championship Online Racing Teams National Cup Series. Exciting stuff as we head into the All-Star Week, where points won't matter, but these points will flare back up when we run the longest event in Court, the Independence 500K, in 2 weeks, 206 laps around the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that's sure to be a good one.
And next week's tagline needs to be that the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Yep, for sure.
The All-Star Race, Charlotte Motor Speedway, constantly one of those races that everyone looks forward to, and some exciting stuff on hand. What's your outlook? We got one driver who is in the show, 2 that are looking in, 1 not even participating. But Julian, you're locked in with your win from Daytona and Indianapolis. What's your mindset going into the All-Star event?
I've actually been practicing. I know it's crazy, right? I've been practicing for Charlotte. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I feel like I might be able to run some consistent fast laps. Still more practice to go. But, you know, even if I don't take away the win, I'm using it as a test session for the big one. Because I need the points. I want to get a nice little cushion, so...
Yeah, as we look here on the screen, if you're watching live, those are the drivers that are locked in to the CORT National Cup Series All-Star Challenge. John Dragonetti with his defending champion, of course. Pete Engelmanis by winning Homestead last season in the CORT National Series. Dakota Ehrman winning Michigan last season. Mike Husby winning Indianapolis last season. Jesus Andrade qualified by winning both Richmond events last season and this season. Steve Lovender actually got the win at Las Vegas. I actually got that wrong there. Not been a very good night for our fact-checking department here tonight. Julian Medor got the win at Daytona, as we just said. Sean Brightsman got the win at Iowa. Tim Silliman qualified by his win at Rockingham. As you can see, 3 drivers will qualify in through the All-Star Challenge Showdown, which has already got 17 entries. Very exciting field, and what could quickly be considered one of the most exciting races of the season. Just that short 40 laps, 2 segments of 20, that will set the field for that will solidify the field for the All-Star Challenge.
I think it's going to be one of the most exciting races of the season. And what's kind of funny, maybe ironic about it, beginning of the season, when we're doing all the scheduling, we weren't really sure what we were going to do for the All-Star race. Didn't know if we were going to have one. Didn't know if we were going to have one and even be able to look forward to it. And now I think everybody can kind of agree that they're really excited about this.
And to be honest, the format, I will admit, has been kind of late in the blooming. We only really decided on the format about 2 weeks ago, so it's good to see that we will have, if the Flying Wii Racing gets their entries in, that should bump it up to 19 at least. So we could see a field of possibly 20 cars battling for 3 spots. Some of the short list of names that are very interesting already: Corey Stevens, Scott Olson, Kevin Bartel, our broadcast partner here. Can't count out Sean Brandt.
I'll let you know. I haven't entered him yet, but he is going to be entered for the race. Jim Gutta in the 17 DeWalt car. He'll be one to watch for.
Yeah, Jim Gutta. Almost forgot about that. Yeah, Jim Gutta will definitely be someone to watch for. He's had some good runs this season. Jesus Andrade. Actually, I need to fix that. Jesus is in the All-Star Challenge. So, looking in your direction, Will Roberts. Why you do that? Yeah, some very exciting names. Kyle Young, can't count him out in these types of events. And it's a 40-lap race, a lot shorter than what we are used to at CORT. So definitely will be go and go now, the motto in that 2-segment race.
Because they got to make a pit stop?
No, there is no pit stop. The way that the 2 events will be going off, the showdown race will be 2 20-lap segments. Caution laps will count. And the actual challenge itself will be 40, 30, and 20, and caution laps will count in that one as well. So, exciting stuff. I mean, it's All-Star Weekend. It's the first time the CORT has ever done anything like an All-Star event, a non-points event even. So, looking forward to it. Should be pretty exciting.
How are we doing the segments in the actual race?
Well, I just said that it was 40, 30, and 20, Julian.
Yeah, but
he means
there's going to be laps in between.
Well, yes. So that carries over into the next segment. So really, it would be like a 27-lap segment and then a 17-lap segment.
Okay.
So, yeah, no matter what, the race is going to be 90 laps. You can bank on that. But, of course, iRacing, we're limited as to what we can do. So, yeah. What did you say, Kevin?
Let me bang, bro.
I let you bang. I do let you bang. Sorry, folks, that's an inside reference. But, yeah, so that's the long and short of it. CORT National Cup Series All-Star Race next week at Charlotte, and then the week after, it's the Independence 500K, 206 laps. So if you got tired of Charlotte after next week, yeah, you're going to be pretty tired of it after 2 weeks. That's going to be fun, the Independence 500K. Last year, of course, it was known as the Coke Zero 300, and that actually produced one of the bigger fields of CORT history. But we've shattered those records this season, and once again, we appreciate each and every one of you guys coming out and running the Championship Online Racing Teams, and we try and make it up to you guys by presenting you stuff like the CORT Report and the All-Star races and the broadcasts. I mean, that's the least that we could do to help you guys out.
And my pants.
And Kevin's pants. Kevin's pants as well. I don't know what's going on with my voice. I must be losing my voice or something tonight, but I don't know if anyone smartly can tell, but yeah, my voice is starting to go south here. So why don't we start wrapping up the court report tonight? Chris Sweat, your final thoughts.
It's gonna be interesting. All-Star race, All-Star Open. The next week after, I didn't compete in the Charlotte race last year, so we're giving this one a shot. So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you don't have to go to the bathroom because you'll be sitting for a while.
Last year's event was a tick under 2 hours. Actually, I think it was a tick over 2 hours. Julian Medor.
Okay.
All-Star.
What was
My
that?
name is All-Star.
What was that at first? What was that weird voice?
My name is All-Star. I can put my arm back on. You can't.
Any Canadians will get that joke, but yeah, that's bad taste, Julian. That's bad taste.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's bad taste.
Maybe I can't put my arm back on. You don't know.
Alrighty, and Kevin Bartelt, your final thoughts on this court report tonight.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are, we got one last thing, and let's get this up on the screen here.
Oh my God.
Tonight. Well, it appears as if the R.I.P. Dave Mobile has made it to iRacing. Wow. Look at this here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry. Infinite screen. There we go.
I like that the contingencies on that car, if you look at it like it's words, spells out oboe. It's like oboe.
That's amazing.
The R.I.P. Dave Ford has, oh dear Lord.
Don't show that to Morgan Murphy because he will run it.
Let's head out of here. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and thank you again, and we will see you guys next week. And for all of us here at the Court Report, I'm your host David Amboys, and we will see you guys next week. So
Rest
long,
in peace,
everybody.
In peace, Dave.
Bye.
I'm not dead. I'm right here. That's totally like bye. Have a great time.
Yeah, completely.
See you later,
No.
folks. What? Check it out.
Let's get out of here.
Bye.